shouldn't be too surprising to any of us in the know that it only took Ted Annemann 8 issues of The Jinx to start recommending books. That's right, in the May 1935 issue, Ted Annemann gave us what we now know as the 5-foot shelf of magic. This list, literally a 5-foot shelf of magic, was designed to take someone from knowing basically nothing at all about magic to making them proficient if they actually studied everything there. Annemann can't take complete credit for coming up with this idea on his own. He actually borrowed it from academia. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, then you know I'm a big Ted Annemann fan. And one of the early episodes that I put out was a reimagining of Ted Annemann's 5-foot shelf of magic for today. But it's been 4 years and I feel like some books have gone out of print and come into print, and it might be interesting if we revisited this idea together. Now, just a few points that I want to make that are similar to the same rules that Annemann laid out for himself. These shouldn't just be books of tricks, but they should lay a foundational level of understanding for someone who's getting into magic. And as part of Annemann's original rules, the books need to be essentially still available so that you can build your magic library with these books. So with that in mind, let's jump into the 2024 Erudite Magic 5-foot Shelf of Magic Foot 1. Let's go. In this first foot of the 5-foot shelf of magic, I'm going to start with some texts that I think are fundamental. Things that will give you a broad overview, if you will, of the subject of magic, whether you're a pure beginner or someone who has a little more experience in the world of magic but maybe hasn't tasted everything out there. And while this list will be helpful for those who are just starting out, I want to point out that this is for serious students of magic. If you're watching this channel, I already know that you're a book lover, and I certainly recommend other more basic texts as your first entry point into the world of magic books. But this list, as you start to curate your library, build your knowledge, and seek to grow as a performer through magic in the written word, I think you're going to like this list. All right, so the first part of this 5-foot shelf may come as no surprise. It is the Tarbell course in magic. I engaged in a little more complete discussion about the Tarbell series a few weeks ago, and you can check that video out here if you want to see more details about this set of books. But as a quick overview, this is 8 books that were written a long time ago, originally as a mail order magic course, later serialized into book format, and then resold to another publisher who now prints these, the D. Robbins or Easy Magic brand. But the important question we have to ask ourselves and answer here in this episode is, why the Tarbell course? And to me, I just don't know of a more complete set of instruction on all kinds of facets of magic. You'll learn basic card handling techniques, some coin work, ropes, mentalism, even grand stage illusions. Sure, there are books that give you more performance-ready pieces, but we're not really looking to buy tricks. We're looking to build knowledge. Now, one thing I'll tell you is when you're building your library and you're looking at this 5-foot shelf of magic, no one said that it was going to come cheap. But if you shop with the sponsor of this week's video, Don's Magic and Books, then you certainly can get some of these books far more reasonably. Don is an online magic book dealer based out of Minnesota, and he loves to help magicians build their libraries by offering both used and new magic books for your collection. Don carries all kinds of different magic books and often gets in new collections of used magic books, which typically go pretty quickly because he offers great prices and free shipping if you live in the United States and meet certain minimum thresholds. You can check out his website via the link I'll drop down in the description below. And I know there are a lot of you who've been shopping with him for years now, understanding that he is a great guy and a terrific magic dealer. So whether you're a new customer or a lifelong fan, check out Don's Magic and Books this week. Just to wrap up the discussion on the Tarbell series, there are 8 books. And as I said before the break, they're not cheap. Each one will set you back between $20 to $25. So here's my recommendation. If you want to add these to your 5-foot shelf of magic to begin building that serious library that we're talking about, get them one at a time. You can find various resources like Dennis Baer's Conjuring Archive that will show you the contents of each one, and they're broken up into different sections and chapters so you can find the things that are most interesting to you that you want to learn about next and buy that volume. Once you've consumed that content and built your understanding, now you can move on to the next and the next and the next until, before you know it, you just end up with all 8. So I'm going to fudge the rules just a little bit. If you're following along at home, the Tarbell course puts us at about 9.5 inches. This next set of books, and yes, it's another set that I'm going to share in this first 5-foot shelf of magic, does put us over the 1-foot mark, but these designations of the first foot and second foot, etc. are a little bit arbitrary. The second set of books that I recommend to anyone starting to build build their library are the 5 Card College books. Now, already early in this journey, you could start to see that we're building a little bit of specialization into the library. I get it that that's a lot of card magic, but I honestly can't think of a better written series on the subject. And if you attend a magic convention or session with other magicians, I think you'll find that maybe 75 to 90% of everything shared is a card trick. I'm not endorsing or condoning that, but I am saying that if you want to be a functional magician, you likely at least need to be familiar with and understand card magic. Knowing and being able to use these fundamental sleights that Roberto Giobbi describes in these books will only help you in your journey as you learn to perform other card magic tricks. And I've been around the block long enough to know that almost everybody starts with cards and then moves into whatever branch interests them the most. As I mentioned, there are 5 of these volumes, and like the Tar Bell series, each one covers different facets of card magic, so take a look at the table of contents and decide how you want to build out these books. They do cost more than the Tar Bell series, which is kind of why I recommend that you start with the Tar Bell series first. The Card College books are $40 each. I want this episode to be interactive, so let me know what you think belongs on the first foot of your 5-foot shelf of magic down in the comments below. And if you have favorite tricks from some of the books that I've already mentioned, hey, put those down there as well. You might be helping out someone who's just starting out in magic. Oh, and if you'd like to see a video about how to get more out of your library once you've acquired some of these books, check out this video. As always, my friends, I appreciate you watching, and until next time, keep reading.